This is absolutely incredible. There's a close ally of Donald Trump and a right-wing radio host and sort of political commentator, Seb Gorka is his name. And he debated liberal streamer Destiny. And the first moment I'm going to play for you is just fantastic. Then I'll show you some other moments that are also great from this debate. And it was a long debate, but I have just some clips to play for you. So first, Destiny goes through a bunch of correct criticisms of Trump. And as you'll notice, Seb Gorka just stunned into silence by the correctness but brutality of these points. And I guess this is Gorka at some point asking the question of everything Biden's doing to make the country bad. What could you possibly do to make the country worse? And then Destiny goes through a bunch of characteristics of Trump, and Gorka doesn't seem to be enjoying it. Here it is. And this is on Trigonometry, I guess, on their YouTube channel.
In terms of like, what would you do if you wanted to make the country worse? I mean, I can think of several things. I would encourage my supporters to lead an insurrection on the Capitol. I would try to say that the election results weren't real. I would claim that the election was fake before even coming into office, which he did before his first term. I'd probably start to gain notoriety or popularity in the political world by suggesting that the current president was born in Kenya, not the United States. A lot of people forget, but that's how Trump initially picked up his popularity. It was with the birth certificate stuff with Barack Obama. I think that when you talk about like wanting to fundamentally change this country, I don't think Biden wants to do that. I think Biden genuinely loves the United States. I look at somebody like Donald Trump, who undermines basically every single part of this country, whether it's the legal and judicial system, whether it's trust in the voting process, whether it's NATO, whether it's U.S. Impressions or the U.S. reputation abroad. I think that Trump fundamentally has no respect for any part of this country. That's why he suggested suspending the Constitution so that he could look for voter fraud. It's why before getting elected, he said that people that burn the flag are one of our most important First Amendment protected rights, should have their citizenship stripped from them, which is insane. And I would also probably try to undermine the current sitting president and the current sitting Congress by telling them that they're not allowed to get things done on the border, because if we keep that as a real problem, it'll help me in the next election cycle, which is why we weren't able to pass any bipartisan border legislation to actually fix the asylum problem that we have right now.
I'm going to quickly pause your viewing of this video to ask that you subscribe to the channel if you're not already, just by clicking that subscribe button. Thank you so much.
That the current government's hands are tied on. Seb?
Brutal stuff there. And it gets to what has been a thesis of a lot of my videos lately, and this next one is good, more combative. They kind of talk over each other more, but it's now undeniable that at least what MAGA stands for is not that of a movement that values, loves, supports, wants to uphold key American principles. It's just not. And so I don't like the provocative language of saying you're America haters, right? But if someone were to make such an argument, you have a lot of evidence to back it up, which is that the peaceful transfer of power, our constitutional process, Trump saying we should terminate the Constitution, and many MAGA people being all right with it. I just got back from speaking with Trump supporters at a rally, video coming soon once we get it all put together. But one of the things I heard from multiple people was, dictator Trump over democratically elected Joe Biden, 100%, 7 days a week. And then you hear the way they speak about the country now. Don Jr. saying it's an S-hole country. Trump saying we're a third world nation, a nation in serious decline. And of course, this is supposed to be a message of it's bad, but Trump can make it better. But really what I hear is them abandoning what used to be, at least aesthetically, patriotism. What used to be an understanding that I think rational people in this conversation can understand. Even with our policy differences, we're motivated to make the country better based on our common love for our country and seeing something special about it, and thus wanting it to be the best that it can be. And with the abandonment of our democratic principles, our constitutional principles, and so many other key American values, as were being listed there, Trump and the MAGA movement are revealing their lack of a dedication to that love. It's a really important point being made there. Here is another moment.
Have any idea how much energy costs went up under the Trump administration, just for average families?
the president
In 4
doesn't
years.
influence energy costs that
He
much.
does when he shuts down fracking and all licenses for oil exploration on federal lands. Don't divert.
U.S.
Do
oil
you-
production
do
is
you
at an
know-
all-time high, so that's a
Absolutely
non-point.
not true.
It is.
Not true.
It is. We're energy independent right now.
Okay, you're making stuff up. Okay,
good. People
how
go look
much
it
did
up.
it? How much did it?
You're making stuff up, he says. All right, well, let's fact check Destiny and see. Oh, wait, he's not making things up. The United States produces, listen for me, Sebastian. United States produces more crude oil than any country ever under President Joe Biden. Which, there's some concerns with that. But what we're seeing is not stopping non-renewable energy production before we're ready to really ramp up and technologically advance enough and enough investments have been made. And that's what we should do. Do a transition. Absolutely, we need to. And that's why the Inflation Reduction Act, with the largest green energy investment ever, is a huge step in the right direction. But do that transition in a way that hopefully hurts Americans. Who doesn't hurt Americans, I should say. I was going to say the least, which doesn't hurt Americans. Because renewable energy is cheaper for consumers than fossil fuels. So we could do a transition and then get to a better future for the planet and for our pocketbooks. But this is just, look at this. Look at this. So that it's showing the top 3 producers, and the United States is dominating. And also more than any time in our history and any time in any country's history ever on the planet. So stop with this Biden shut down oil production nonsense. Then you might go, wait, but then why are costs not where we'd ideally like them to be? And that's when you have to realize, oh, maybe let's not just use this as a political thing we can exploit through simple and incorrect talking points, and instead understand the complex variables that are at play here. And why maybe, Sebastian, all your talk of this being Biden's fault isn't correct. And with the conditions that he had to inherit, done a pretty solid job of handling the economy. Here's another moment.
Risible. He loves himself more than anything, any other human being on the planet. Yeah, that's why he's facing 730
Talking about Trump.
years in prison right now because he wants to be president again. He could have just gone off back to his private life, running his businesses, but no, he actually said a few days ago, I'm prepared to go to jail and make that sacrifice any day because the Constitution is more important than my freedom. That sounds like a very selfish individual, absolutely.
Do you not think, though, I think it's a fair critique to say that Donald Trump is narcissistic, and so he would want to go back because he feels that he was badly treated. The reason he didn't get re-elected was the election was stolen, and he wants to show the world that it's a personal ambition project rather than
At the cost of going to prison.
Well, some people want to sacrifice themselves so everyone can see how they've been badly treated because there's
Wrong response to that. No. It's not that he's willing to go to prison because that would also serve him narcissistically. It's that it's not him choosing to be willing to sacrifice himself, whether for himself or people, because the prison potential doesn't have to do with him deciding to run for president. He did things before he decided to run for president again that caused him to get into legal trouble, and accepting that premise is ridiculous. Sebastian Gorka going, Trump's not selfish because he broke like a lot of laws, and now he's running for president even though he's being prosecuted for breaking those laws. Crazy. And it gets to he's not doing this, or what's the phrase? If he can do this, if they can do this to him, they can do it to you. And all of the alleged and non-alleged, already proven crimes that were committed by Trump happened before, predated his decision to run for president. So maybe if he didn't break the law, then he would be fine and he could run for president and wouldn't have these legal troubles. But no prosecutor, Joe Biden, Alvin Bragg, deranged Jack Smith, as Trump would say, Judge Merchan, none of them made Trump steal and refused to return classified documents. None of them made Trump try to allegedly, illegally block the peaceful transfer of power and overthrow a lawful electoral result and assemble fraudulent electors. None of those people made Trump pay off a porn star, then try to cover up the fact that he paid her off by falsifying, and while he was trying to cover that out, falsified business records. And no one made him do those things. So maybe, Sebastian Gorka, you should have a little bit more of a personal responsibility mindset. I think Trump should just pull himself up by his bootstraps. Here's more.
But the one thing I have also heard, including from many Republicans who might be mutual friends of ours or people who are high up in the Republican Party, is that Donald Trump is playing politics with these issues right now in order that he has a better chance of winning. Do you accept that?
No, I don't. Let's talk about this canard that the left wants to fix this. And they had legislation that a rhino, a fake conservative, sponsored in the Senate. The legislation stated that if you sign this into law, you will allow at least 5,000 illegals into America every 24 hours. Of course, we're going to say that's garbage, that's insanity. The idea that they, in good faith, want to fix this. Let's just look. In preparation for today,
It's stunning. It really is. It's stunning how dishonest people are willing to be. What he's talking about is not letting in 5,000 people unlawfully. Instead, it's that when there are 5,000 encounters, then the asylum process that by U.S. law we're required to hear asylum cases is then restricted. So it's not letting, it doesn't even make any sense. It's giving new power to the president. They didn't have before, so Trump didn't have this power either, to restrict asylum claims whenever we're overwhelmed with the amount of asylum claims that we're getting, given the amount of encounters at the border. So just lies. But then they took that, I guess we're just like, hey, it's 5,000. That's a number we can use. And they started lying about it. It's an emergency status. Oh, we're overwhelmed. Now we restrict asylum claims and the amount that we're hearing. So there's that. Great job to Destiny in this debate, and terrible job, no credit, to Sebastian Gorka. Let me know what you thought of all that in the comments. If you want to get the daily bonus show, you can do so by clicking that join button below.